Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel where we talk everything books, films, TV shows, and music. I just want to say before we get started, this video is probably going to be a day late. I normally post on Fridays, but I'm not going to post, it's probably not going to get posted by Friday. It'll probably be a Saturday, so I'm sorry that this is a day late. And I hope that didn't ruin your day too much. That you were able to still enjoy your Friday, even if it didn't include my video. Life's been a little crazy right now. I'm getting ready for vacation, and yeah, it's just been a little hectic. So, anyways, let's get into it. Today we are going to be talking about the one and only Noah Kahan and his newest album, The Great Divide. This album came out quite a few months ago, so I'm a little late to the bandwagon, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to be talking about it today. This album I've been listening to on repeat as of recently, just because I feel like this album very much my summer coded, and I've had there's been a lot of relatability that I found within this album. And so basically I've been listening to this album and the Olivia Rodrigo album, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love, on repeat. Both of those. So yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, a couple weeks ago, and something that reignited my love with this album, not reignited my love for the album, but reignited me listening to it over and over again, was something my brother said to me. So shout out to my brother Dathan. He said to me that this album very much feels like it's just about Noah's friend group. And that just sat with me. And as I hyperfixated then on the album again, I realized, oh my gosh, this album is so totally about friendship. And before I start going over some of the songs on this album, I just want to say that I am in no way saying that this is what Noah intended for these songs to be about. Because a lot of these songs where I sort of have this where I read into them that they're about friendship and stuff, honestly very much could be, they could you could read from them a romantic relationship or even a platonic sibling relationship. So I think the beauty of music is that it's very subjective in its nature, and any listener can take a different takeaway from that. And I think that's true for all art, but I think music is, you invest, there's less time to convey emotions and specific emotions and feelings and stories in a song than a 300-page book or a 2-hour movie. And so because of that, things are a little bit more vague and we're focused more on specific feelings. And I think that's why with music we're able to take such objective objective ideas from. And so my read of this album is not in any way, shape, or form saying this is what Noah Kahan intended for this album. But this is just sort of what I'm picking up from this album, and sort of what themes and feelings are resonating with me, and I just think really make this album very relatable. I hope I explained that well. Don't come for me if I didn't. So, with this, I think this album focuses on two different aspects. So, if you know anything about Noah Kahan, he makes songs about his family quite a bit and sort of like his parents' divorce and stuff like that. And so, there are some songs on this album that I think are very clearly about his family and his relationship with his mom and his dad. And so, I don't want to say that though, like, it feels weird to me saying the song 23 is about a friendship when I feel like it's very heavily about his dad. So, that that being said, when we like sort of dive into these, I think it's either going to be about friendship, so we got the friendship bracelets here, or it's going to be about the family. Yeah, let's get into the album. Oh, so before we get into it, I just want to shout out to my shirt. It says Noah Kahan, The Great Divide, and then on the back it's got all the type of stuff. My I was not able to go to the Great Divide tour because I'm just not skilled. um, I wasn't able to go to the Great Divide, but my brother and his girlfriend were, and they were amazing, and they picked me up this merch, this shirt. So, yeah. Okay, let's start from the beginning with the end of August. So, I here's my thing with Noah is I think he is such a skilled, like, he's such a skilled lyricist and storyteller that he jumps around with perspective in this album a lot for like who is singing the song, who is like this song's perspective from. And so my dad said I should, this is so, shout out to my dad. He said that I should employ a little bit more of a script in the vids. So I wrote down some of like my thoughts a little bit so I can be very clear on what I think these songs are about. At least the ones about friendship, I feel that I get a friendship vibe from. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I have some notes on this notebook that I'm gonna read. It's not like crazy scripted, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. We want to avoid this situation too much because I really want to be very specific about what I'm taking away from these songs and what I think they're about and how that like sort of coincides and makes sense, right? Okay, so starting with the end of August, and I think that this song is about friendship. Nobody is surprised. Specifically, let me read from my notes. Noah coming home and reconnecting with a friend. So I think we sort of like get this song is sort of like, it's sort of like the end, what happens, like in a movie, how it'll start with the ending and then you go back in time to see how you got there. That's basically what I think that this song is. And so let's pull up the lyrics for my evidence. So the first lyric that really stood out to me was the first part in verse 2 where it says, "And anything you need, I will provide a ride home or an alibi." This sort of like, it's very much reads to me like reaching back out. Like, you want to make sure that this person knows, like, hey, you're still important to me. And then at the very end of verse 2, when it says, "Late August angst and a pointless night, oh, and the feeling of being alive for the first time in a long time." For that, to me, it very much reads like, I have not felt whole since I have been with you. Oh, the feeling of being alive for the first time in a long time. And so that's why, to me, this song feels like that person reaching back out. And This is in the bridge. It says, drawing a place, oh, or a photo on a fridge. They mined copper for years. Oh, there was nothing left to dig. A place where most kids just grow up and have kids who grow up and have kids who build homes for the rich. And this is also, I think this album, I keep referring, I keep saying, I'm going to say Noah for our like main character, for lack of a better term. Not to say that this is like Noah, I'm not saying that this is Noah Kahan. Like, this is this character within my head that this album makes me envision. Noah is sort of like, he has gone away to achieve his dreams, what have you. And he went off to achieve his dreams, and the friend stayed behind. That's very much the through line theme. One friend being left behind, one going off. And so I think, like, where's my thought? I should have written more down. My dad's gonna be disappointed in me. I think, like, this very much to me is like Noah trying to rationalize, like, I know we've been apart for so long, but like, this is why. This idea of it's a place where most kids who just grow up and have kids who grow up and have kids who build homes for the rich. This idea of this never ending cycle, and that idea of like building homes for the rich seems very negative. Oh, don't touch the mic. Very negative to me. And so that's why, that's sort of what I get from this bridge. And that's why I come to the conclusion that this is about Noah reaching back out to his friend who he sort of left behind in his hometown. Okay, let's move on to Doors. So I wrote down for Doors, I said, Noah, okay, this sort of reads beginning of friendship. Beginning of friendship, and Noah warning the friend at the beginning of the relationship that he is no good. So we're going back in time to the beginning. And this idea of Noah sort of, oh, let me pull up the friendship bracelets. Noah warning this person that he should not be friends with him. So in the chorus it says, that I'm trouble ahead, that I scream in my sleep. You're putting money on red, but I'm a sure bet at a losing streak. I keep showing you doors, but you can't open them up, because it gets harder to see me the closer you try to look. So he's like, this is like a warning, very much. Like, he says he's trouble ahead. This idea of like screaming in your sleep, like, and then there's these metaphors of like, I think that's correct, like putting your money on red, betting on a losing streak, like comparing himself to like these very bad things, these bad decisions. And then he says, I keep showing you doors, but you can't open them up. Like, he keeps shutting the door on this relationship, and this person can't open them up, but they're still there. They're still, like, this person can't get through to Noah, but they're still there for them. So, yeah. I believe you also have the post chorus where it says, I just live here, babe, and you're the one who decided to knock. You knocked. So, like, them being like, I don't know, this is, to me, this reads like, why did you, like, you're the one who made this dumb decision. Like, I told you you shouldn't. But yeah. Okay. On to American Cars. And this one is about friendship. Okay. I wrote, the friendship feeling like it could fix everything, and this is what they've always been looking for. This is a very fun, I feel like this is a very fun and positive song, which is weird to say about Noah Kahan, because historically he writes very sad music. But yeah, so we got in the chorus, it says, you're gonna fix it, you're gonna patch it up. Honey, we're fragile, you've always been so tough. And now, know that I missed you, you're always coming running back whenever I ask. So, like, very different to other parts of the album where he's talking about how, like, he just kind of, the one friend just, like, left and didn't come back, and, like, all of that. So when it says, you're gonna fix this, patch it up, it's very different to what we hear indoors, where he's like, hey, I'm this broken thing, you don't want to be around it. And now he's sort of flipped the script. He's like, you're gonna fix it. Like, this relationship feels so unstoppable that like he feels like this is the fix to all of my problems, is this relationship that we have, which is definitely not a way to look at a relationship, because that's only going to fail you inevitably when the relationship falls apart. Yeah. And it says, honey, we're fragile, but you've always been so tough. Sort of like acknowledging the fact that, like, oh, this is very new, but like, I feel like we can keep it together. And again, we have this, I know that I've missed you. I know that I missed you. You always come running back whenever I ask. Like, we start dipping your toes into this idea of the friend of Noah moving away. But like, at this point in the relationship, like, it's fine. The distance isn't killing them. Does it make sense? The distance isn't killing them. Quite yet. All right, now we're on to Downfall and all the positivity that we had in American Cars is gone. So this film is about friendship, and what I have written down is that the friend, so Noah's friend, feelings after Noah has been moving away for some time. So he's been gone for a little bit, and the friend is starting to have some negative feelings about it. And this is the first, before we jump into the lyrics, this is the first song I feel like where it switches the perspective. Like, we've been sitting in Noah's perspective for a while of the relationship, and I feel like Downfall is the first time that like Noah Kahan writes from like a perspective that is different. Again, I'm not saying that like this is what's happening to Noah Kahan. Like, this isn't, Noah Kahan didn't have this experience with a friend, because it could be any sort of relationship. Like I said at the beginning, like, it could be a platonic sibling relationship, it could be a romantic relationship. Like, I can get those vibes sort of, but I just like, again, the friendship part really resonated with me. So like, Noah Kahan is writing from a different perspective than he was before. Um, yeah. Again, I hope I'm explaining this correctly. And this is making sense, because it's kind of confusing, but I think it's also so fascinating that it's fun. Okay, anyways. Okay, let's jump into the lyrics. So call me when it goes to shit. I'll be keeping the house the way it was. I won't rub your face in it. I swear I won't tell anyone. I don't mind being your dead end, but I think it's fine to never move on. I'll keep my ear up to the doorframe, and I'll keep rooting for your downfall, and I'll keep rooting for your downfall. So like, this friend, as the text says, is rooting for Noah's downfall, because his success has pulled him away from the friend, pulled him in the fray from the friend, and his friend is missing him, and he wants things to fall apart so that he'll be back, which is such a relatable feeling of like it's a terrible feeling to have, to be like, I want this person in my life to fail, because I just want I want my person back. It's so, I love it when music is so relatable like this. Like, I don't know if you've seen my Olivia Rodrigo video, I kept saying this is so relatable. But like, again, like, I guess this is what I love about music, is about relatability. Like, you love your friend and you want them to succeed, but at the same time, like, there's a part of you that's like, but what if, but like, what if you failed? But what if I want you to fail so that you'll be with me? And that's like, I think we've jumped first into these sort of like negative feelings of being pulled away. And I think this is a really good place for Noah Kahan to start with these feelings in the album, because like, it's kind of abrupt, but it's also like this person isn't preying on their downfall. There's no like vengeance or anger. There's still a lot of care, but it's just like these little feelings that you have in the back of your mind that you'd never admit to really anyone about like wanting your best friend to fail. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Lighthouse. This one is one that like I don't know if I fully have a good read of it. There's some where I like this is one of the ones where I'm like, I don't know if I'm really picking up what Noah's putting down or if this even fits into my thesis. But anyways, so I think this one is about friendship. And what I have written down about it is even though the friend is angry, they won't let others hate Noah. So even though like they are getting a little bit upsetty spaghetti that Noah is gone and they're feeling very hurt about it, they still won't let others tear this person down. And this comes from, I have this outlook that comes from the chorus where it says, but I look out at the wreckage of you for as long as there's light, for as long as that you last. I curse them all out when they F up your story. I tell it the way you told me. So like clearly like we start with some like negative feelings, but I look out at the wreckage of you and like but as long as like there's still that connection, this friend is willing to like back up Noah. He's still willing to like go to bat for Noah. Even though things are probably like even though there's tension there, he's still willing to go to bat for him. That's what I got from the Lighthouse. Just based upon the chorus, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. Tell me what you guys think about the Lighthouse and what do you think like the meaning of it is. Okay, moving on to Paid Time Off. One of my favorites on the album. This one's really, really good. Okay, so Paid Time Off, I think it's about friendship. Are you noticing a theme here? Okay, I have about Paid Time Off. It says, Noah comes back, and everything feels great again. They forget about the feels from being separated. So those feelings from being separated, they forget about them because Noah is back, and they're back together. They're a little gang again. Okay, so first I have the chorus where it says, and your love is like an open flame. I'm a running car and you're a closed garage. Someone once told us there's a world out there and we don't care enough to drive that far. It's been a damn near perfect day, just getting high at the outlet mall. People grow up and they move away, but you don't care and I don't mind at all. So clearly they're back together. They're back together and everything like feels very good again. They're thick as thieves. And there's also like this idea of ignoring the feelings from when Noah was away. Because it says, people grow up and they move away, but you don't care and I don't mind at all. Which, like, that is very contradictory. That line is very contradictory to downfall. Like, very contradictory to the idea of downfall, of like wishing that your friend would fail so they would come back. This is more so like about like ignoring those feelings is what that says to me. Like we're not going to fess up to the fact that like this is how I was feeling when you were away. We're not going to talk it out. We're just going to ignore it and just relish in the fact that we're back together. I also have verse 2 where it says, I got the car, you got the bag, a handwritten note left for mom and dad, a police scanner bouncing on the dash, a cup of burnt coffee, and a check to cash. I had the brains for a city job, but you got the taste for a county cop. A pack of cigarettes and a round of golf, making a living working the paid time off. So, like, there's this very like juvenile in the first part of verse 2. There's this very big juvenile thing. So, like that very much screams to me that idea of like, oh, we're young and dumb together again. Especially the handwritten note left from mom and dad. Then we got this, I got the brains for a city job, you got the taste for a county cop. That's very much like I could move away and be very successful, but you don't have those aspirations. And sort of like ignoring those thoughts and being like, let's just work so that we can have these moments together. Again, ignoring the feelings that are underlying there, which again, I'm going to say it again, very relatable. Because sometimes when you're in a friendship, you don't talk about the things that are making you angry because you're just like, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And even though, like, if you don't talk about it, it's just going to continue to happen. Anyways, yes, that's paid time off. I think paid time off is one of my favorites, and I think even like within the context of where Noah put this in the album is just genius. So genius. All right, moving on to Staying Still. Staying Still. Okay, so the song is again about friendship. I promise there are ones on this album that I think are about his family. I promise. We just gotta get to them. Okay, Staying Still. Let me turn my page. Staying Still. I have written down Noah leaving once again and then the friend feeling angry again. So we're starting to get into the feelings of anger towards this. So let's look at the text. It says, in the pre-chorus, it says, but you could punch me in the gut and it wouldn't hurt like watching you grow smaller on the background. And I never asked. I hear my neighbors. Sorry, I'm getting self-conscious because I just heard them like very loudly. I don't know if you could hear that. Like not very loudly, but like mildly loudly leave the apartment. I'm like really whispering. Anyways, where was I? Okay. I don't know what that was about. Says, but you could punch me in the gut and it wouldn't hurt like watching you grow smaller on the backboard. And I never asked for much, but I hope that Logan crumbles and gets hit by a tornado. Okay, let's break that down. First of all, very honest, very like good description of the feeling of like not wanting your friend to move away. Like it wouldn't hurt. Like the thing that hurts the most is watching you go. And then being like, I never asked for much, but I really hope. Logan, I believe, is referring to the airport in Boston. I read that like on the Genius lyrics, whatever that website is called. I'll put a link in the description to the album on that website, but that I used for this. So that Logan is, they believe, is referring to the the airport in Boston, and saying, basically saying, I hope that you can't, like something catastrophic happens so you can't leave. And yeah, again, we're back to these feelings of like, I don't want to say it, but like, of like really hoping that something catastrophe, like something catastrophic happens so that they'll come back to them. Okay, moving on to the chorus where it says, oh, I can't keep on starting over, sleeping in a bed half empty, daydreaming. All love must leave. Oh, but I will search search for it I will. Honey, tell me, are you good at staying still? Are you good at staying still? This is, for me, this is very much like that person, like they're angry and now they're sort of trying to find another best friend. We get the first hints of trying to find another best friend. Like hanging out with other people and being like, are you okay staying around here? Is that like your plan, your goal? And like this like sort of being traumatized in this relationship of like really hoping, like really needing someone who's going to stay there. And like that sort of alludes to the inevitability that this relationship is going to fall apart. So, yes. Let's move on to.
Hey gamers, it's Editing Izzy. I was editing this video and I realized I never talk about the Great Divide in this video. I completely missed it in my presentation when I was making my Google Slides presentation. And I just never talk about it. For some reason, I never talk about it. So, I'm gonna talk about it now because it's the title track. You can't just skip it. Like, that's crazy work, Miss Izzy. Okay, so the Great Divide. The Great Divide very much is like one person like reminiscing on an old friendship. And I think we sort of like it kind of like breaks up the it kind of breaks up the flow a little bit because I feel like Haircut is very much the like angry transition. We go from songs like Downfall where like these feelings are bottled up and these feelings of like resentment are very small and are just very clearly based upon like the care for that person, whereas like in Haircut and Dashboard there's just like anger that this person left them behind. And so I think we're starting this song sort of helps transition into that anger because it's very much like realizing you don't know who this person is. And like in Haircut, that's a huge theme of like who are you now, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, favorite part of the song, I love the chorus where it says, I hope you settle down, I hope you marry rich, you're scared of I hope you're scared of only ordinary shit like murderers and ghosts and cancer on your skin and not your soul and what he might would do with it. There's a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of like you know from this chorus that like this person like knew each other. They're very close because they talk about like this fear of like God and stuff like that. Like you don't talk about that unless like you're very close with this person. Um there's also the pre-chorus where it goes, you know I think about you all the time and my deep misunderstanding of your life. How bad it must have been for you back then and how hard it was to keep it all inside. That to me also like very much reads that this is like Noah talking to the friend. I don't know if that contradicts what I said earlier, but it feels like Noah talking to the friend. You know? Noah's talking to the friend and reaching back out, but like not really actually willing to come back. Like there's still this great divide, and like the part where it drops the title where it says you inch yourself across the great divide. That's not like, oh, you're going out of your way to try and bridge this gap between us. You're just doing whatever the heck you want. Um, there's also the I hope you threw a brick right into that stained glass. I hope you're with someone who isn't scared to ask. I hope you're not losing sleep about what's next or about your soul and what he might do with it. Like just like this person knows like no one knows this person. They were very close, but there's very clearly distance and like Noah's acknowledging the distance and that is going to push the friend to anger, basically. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little segment with Editing Izzy. I don't know why I missed the freaking title track. That's crazy.
Move on to Haircut. Haircut. Okay, Haircut is about friendship. And I have written Noah being gone for even longer than before, and the friend feels like they don't know Noah anymore. Okay, so Noah's been gone for a while, and now this friend feels like they don't really know this person. It's been so long, and they're sort of getting angry about that fact. Okay. In the chorus, it says, "But at least I've got soul still, even if I'm in a bad place. Even if I'm eating fast food, sleeping at my dad's place. I'm happy for your haircut. I'm glad you got your act clean. You're showing up like bad news and leaving like a bad dream." Okay, let's break that down. Um, the beginning, the first line, "At least I've got slow soul still, even if I'm in a bad place," is just being, it's sort of like, at least I'm not, like, there's some anger behind that. Um, like, he is like, at least I'm not selling myself out for whatever dream, like, at least I'm not selling away my relationships for my dream, you know? And and then he talks about like how sort of like leaning into this idea of like what failure is, like only eating fast food, staying, like being stuck at your parents' house, not being able to move out. And the part where it really makes me think like this has been a while, like these two haven't been in a while, is this idea of, "I'm happy for your haircut. Like, I'm glad you got your act clean." That implies that there's been time. There's been time that these two have been apart. And that is why these emotions are getting angrier. And this is very transitional. I think haircut is very transitional towards the more angrier songs. Like, it's the start of the angrier songs where it's like this person still cares, but they're getting angry about this. And they're feeling less and less guilty for the anger. Like, sometimes you feel really guilty that you're angry over something that your friend does because it's like, you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter. Like, they're happy, so why would I care? But then sometimes you're like, I really need you to stop doing that. I really need you to stop. That's too much for me. And I think that's kind of like what I'm picking up with this is we're transitioning into this anger is like gonna cause the end of the friendship instead of just like deep down you have this thing but you can push it aside for the friend. Okay, and then we have the post chorus where it says, "Help me if it helps you sleep, help me if it helps you write, help me if it helps you leave, help me if it helps you lie crying in the bathroom, baby." This is so sad because it's like this, it's this, again, this is why haircut is transitional, because we come back to that idea of like begging this person to come back almost. Like, I'll come back if it like come back even if it's just because you're having a hard time sleeping, or because you need inspiration to write, or because you need to remember why you need to leave again. Like, that begging, that was like, you still are very much care for that person. And I think like through a lot of these angrier songs, that is a needed through line, is that idea of this care for a person, because that's what like makes the friendship breakup so devastating, if that makes sense. Okay, moving on to Willing and Able. This one originally I thought was about, like, I thought kind of got some familiar vibes, but then I like studied the lyrics more and I decided it's a little bit of a friendship song. Okay, so what do I have written down? I say, sorry, my neighbors just got back, so I just went silent because I have a feeling like they can hear me from where I am standing and talking, because if I can hear them closing the door, they can definitely hear me talking. And that's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed, even though I shouldn't care because I don't talk to them. Anyways, I'm being weird. Back to Willing and Able. Um, I originally thought it was like a familiar song, but then like as I studied the lyrics a little bit more, I decided that it's more friendship. So let me prove that to you. I say Noah or the friend. More so the friend, I think, upon what I'm thinking right now in this moment. The friend just wanting them to come home, even if it's just to fight. So this tells me that the relationship has gotten like actually rocky. It's not just one friend's feelings anymore. It's not unspoken feelings anymore. Like there's actually some like spoken tension. Okay, so the chorus says, I'm willing and able. If you want to kick this rock around, if you've got a bone to pick with me, if you've got a flag planted in the ground, oh, I'll stay here till morning. Oh, we can fight like we used to fight. Bony limbed, two red faced and teary eyed under the glow of the TV lights. So these first one, two, three, these first three lines are very much like figurative language about like what is it? Is it idiom? Is that the figurative language where it's like you use old? No, it's adage. Adage. I think I could be getting this wrong. Adage is where you use like very common turns of phrase to describe what you're trying to describe. So that's what's going on here. That describing the want for this person to just come home and fight. And then like here it's just like straight up like all like being for real, like up in an office, like I will literally do anything. I'll stay up till morning if and fight with you just so I can be with you. That idea of being willing and able to do that. Okay, that's all I have to say for willing and able. I think. I think I'm not very good at like the transitions between the songs and such. I don't think, but we live, we laugh, we love. Okay, starting off strong. Not starting off strong. Now we're on to dashboard, which is about friendship. Yes, you predicted it. It's about friendship. I have written down the friend is getting more and more angry and starts to resent Noah. This is an angry song. Really, really angry. We've been sitting in this friend's POV for a while as they get more and more angry, and we're starting to lose some of that like through line of like care, you know? We're starting to lose that. So, yeah. Start with I have pulled up verse 2 in the pre chorus to start where it says, and all of your friends look a lot like your last. I wonder why. That's so snarky and angry. And then it says, took all those loose ends, made them sandalwood beads to tie around your neck. Douche. Again, really angry, being like, oh, like, you're just gonna forget about us. You're gonna move on to these new friends that are exactly like your old ones. Um, yeah, exactly like your old ones, and you're just gonna move on to someone new. I think, like, so often we can be the person that this song is singing about, where we can, like, have this friendship breakup, move on to new, like, we can sort of, like, be in a friendship with someone and then move on to new friends, not realizing that, like, we've left this person behind with all of these really intense feelings. It's definitely something I've done before, and I've also definitely been on the receiving end of that. And so I think that's why this song's really good. And then it says, and just when you think that the road's straight ahead, that's when the devil shows up on your dashboard again. And I think that to me is very much like regret. Thinking about this person and realizing, oh my gosh, like I've left this person behind, and thinking about that and like sitting there and like, life may be great, but I did leave behind my best friend for nothing. And that's pretty rough. That is pretty rough if you ask me. Okay, on to, I believe I have the chorus then pulled up as well, where it says, look at you, go crossing state lines with your shadow, trying to run away, change your zip code, turns out you're still an asshole. It ain't our fault that you aren't suddenly somebody else because you've worked on yourself, got a dog. You're an asshole after all. So, this is like, I think this is one of the catchiest. I love an angry song. Something you'll come to know about me. I love an angry song. And this just, to me, so angry. And I love it. I love the anger that we are getting from these characters within this song. And I just think that this really dives into, like, when we're angry, we always say like stupid things that like have truth within them, but like, you shouldn't say and are kind of like crossing the line. And that's very much what this chorus is. I don't have like specific lines that I really want to point out. I just think it's the whole thing is very much like there's some truth to this, yes, but like you do not, like, you're being mean saying it like this. Anyways, let's move on to 23. And guess what, guys? We're to our first. I think this is about his family. Um, let's talk about why I think it's about his family. Tattooed your initials into my right arm so I'd see your name when I lift up the drink. There ain't nothing else in the world catching up on, so it's warm whenever you sleep. And then we jump down a little bit to I still ball up my fist when you mention your name. That just, to me, that does not read friendship. There is a lot of anger there. And while we've definitely been diving into anger throughout this through line thread of this friendship, I do not think it warrants that. Specifically, the part where he talks about tattooed your initials into my right arm so that I'd see your name when I lift up a drink. That is not something you do for a friend. So that's why I think that this one is very much about the fam. His dad. Well, I shouldn't say, like, I know it's his dad, but like, to me, this isn't the same person the other songs have been about. I feel like I do know a little bit about Noah's past because I watched the Out of the Blue documentary. So I think that's where all of my like ideas are coming from. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. Moving on to the chorus where it says, well, I'll beat your ass in the morning. I know I've been running all this time, sprinting my way past your bedroom, lifting the weight of you off my mind, because I'll never see you again. You could be anything I want, 23, cleaning the edge and teaching me how the thing runs. Again, that just reads dad to me. Like, teaching me how the thing runs, that is a dad thing, guys. Come on, come on, come on. And then like sprinting your way past your bedroom, that's not a situation that really happens with your friend. That's like you're in your childhood home and you don't want to go past this. Like, going past the bedroom is going to bring back memories. And so you sprint past it so you aren't there for very long. Anyways, yeah. Moving on to porch light. And guess what, guys? It's not really thinking about family. It's not just about friendship. Okay, this one, I originally, just like with Willing and Able, I originally leaned the other way and I thought this was about, um, like, like friendship. But then I was at the Lyric Genius, I think that's what the website's called. And I just like read one of the notes and it just was like, oh yeah, this is very, very parent coded. And so then I just, I think this is about the parent. So in verse 3, it says, you act like we just sit up here and wait for you to reappear, but baby, there are bills to pay, and your dad's road needs salt. That's the line. That's the line. Your dad's roads need salt. That is a mom talking, if I've ever heard one. A mom. Like, you, your parents, they always be referring to each other as that. Like, my mom will be like, your dad did this today, as if it's not her husband. Anyways, yeah. And it says, and this idea in the refrain where it goes, you're a ghost, 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 and I choke, and I choke, and I choke, and I choke. That's just, like, I know we've been talking about some, like, intense emotions with the friendship stuff, but that just feels too intense to be about a friend. That's, like, that's parental relationship right there. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's why I think that Porch Light is about. I think there can be an argument for this being about a friendship, but that your dad's road needs salt, just like, I don't know, that's very much a mom to me. That's what a mom would say. All right, now we're on to deny, deny, deny. And this one is about friendship. We're back at it to the friendship. Okay, this one, we've had a little break from our friendship, 2-song break where Noah sings about his family. Now we're back at the friend, and we're back into Noah's perspective. I think the song is definitely from Noah's perspective, or the friend that went away, not the friend that stayed behind. And this is, I have written down, Noah trying to make it up to the friend and sort of like have this proposal of being like, hey, I know like you're kind of angry with me right now because we haven't seen each other in a while, and like I'm kind of being a bad friend, but like I want to make it up to you. Okay, let's look at the lyrics. So in the chorus, it says, I'll get your house paid off so the feds can't touch it. Another thing we don't talk about anymore. Don't worry, I won't bring it up. You can scream at me when you come home drunk, when I come home drunk, and it's fine. I know your company line. When I ask about the past, you deny, nine, nine. Okay, I'll get your house paid off so the feds can't touch it. That is like, that's a bribery. Bribery to me. Reading, I'm trying to like win you back. And then there's this idea of like another thing we don't talk about anymore. Again, that's the distance between them. They aren't as close as they were before, and that friend is very angry about it. And then being like, don't worry, I won't bring it up. Like, we'll put it in the past. We don't have to talk about it. And it says, you can scream, and then he's like, you can scream at me when I come home drunk. And then like it's sort of like being like, these are the things that like sort of annoyed Noah before, but he's willing to look past them for them to, it means that they can be close together again. And there's like some immaturity in this, in the sense that like they think, the narrator thinking that like this is what can fix the problem, not talking about like their feelings and why, and sort of like coming to a more open consensus, just trying to like patch things up and ignore the problems, denying the problems. Like, it's not the way that this is going to work out. Feel me? Yeah, feel me? Okay, on to Headed North. Another one of my faves on the album. I just think that this one is so fun. It's like a campfire song. I really like it. Um, this is about friendship, and this is sort of, I think, the friend's response. You know, being a little bit honest, sort of like not being angry, trying to be mature, and like that, um, that sort of like peace offering between. It's sort of like a peace offering between the two of them. So let's look at the chorus where it says, and it's been gone to shit without you. It was shit before, but at least I had you. No, there ain't nothing to report, but I hope you're bored and headed north. So like, very much like being like, it's not great here without you, but like there's nothing like really all that different going on. It's just like it's not great without you here. And then being like, but I hope that you sort of get over this life and can come north. We're starting to acknowledge the feelings, sort of, that this character's feeling of like the friend is feeling of like wishing that that person would come back, and like even if it means like them failing, and like being open and honest about that. Open and honest. I think I also have verse 2 where it says, and I've been taking your advice and trying to scream less at the tourist, and I've been working on my timing when I ask too much of you. But I but if I see one more Cybertruck, I swear to God I'm gonna floor it. I need somebody here to talk me out of things I can't undo. This song is very mature. I think it's this maturity that like the other like songs sort of lacked. Um, Acknowledging like, hey, these are the things that like I'm working on, like getting angry at tourists, like being dramatic about things that don't really matter, like Cybertrucks, and like doing like not doing crazy things like that I can't you can undo, and like this idea of like working on my timing when I ask too much of you, of like I need to be better about like not it like knowing what is too much, like knowing not to ask you to sacrifice these things. And so it's kind of like you have this like little peace offering of like these are the things that like I'm working on, and I'm trying to be a better friend because that's what I would want you to do for me. So yeah, that's headed north. Let's move on to We Go Bay Back. This song about friendship. And they said it's Noah coming to terms that him and his friend are drifting apart. So even though we've had this maturity from Headed North, this friendship is just it's just falling. It's not gonna last with what these two people want. It's just too different. And so it says, used to hate the silence, used to make me think of the about the old days, and all the miles in my legs, the late night flights, the missed birthdays. Out here, I can hear your heartbeat. I can hear the start of a long sigh. I can hear the song of the room of the robin. Sorry, I can't see. I haven't wrote my own in a long time, and it's just fine. Like coming to terms with like them being apart. I used to hate the silence. I don't think is like actually hating the silence. I think that's sort of Noah Kahan describing this in a like. I think when he says silence, he means like them not being close. I think that's sort of what that reads to me. Like silence, I think mean like very much to me in lyrics and poetry is sort of signified of like not an actual silence, but the absence of something. Of like you seem to hate like them not communicating and stuff like that. Um, Coming to terms with like this stuff in the past. Sorry, I'm getting tired. My energy drink is wearing off. um, yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on. I'm every time I film one of these videos, I always have to film them at night because I use the projector. And every time I get towards the end, I start getting more and more tired, and I feel really bad because I feel like I'm running out of steam, and the later the video goes on, the less coherent I am. But yeah, I don't know where that was going. I need to focus better and get more sleep. Okay, on spoiled. Um, and this one is about family. And the reason I say that is because if we look at the lyrics, where it says at the beginning of the chorus, it says, just so my children get spoiled when they get old, so they can F up all they want and blame it all on their dad. So they can watch me go to work and fall asleep on the couch. They'll say, I want to be you, but I don't want to be that. That, I don't know how to describe it, but that is so, like, that's so, like, it's not like Noah is saying this is what he's going to do. It's him being like, this is saying to his dad, this is what you did to me. Like, this is what you done did to me, and we're going to continue the generational cycle because you didn't even attempt to stop it. And like, just an angry song about not wanting to be like your dad. And I just, it's about his dad. It's about his dad. It's not our friendship through line. It's not our friendship thesis. Still a good spoiled though. Whoa, did I just say still a good spoiled? The name of the song when I sent still a good song. I think I talk faster sometimes than my brain moves. So yeah. Okay. Oh, we got more. It says, as I'm betting on the North to drag my ass back down to earth, because where I'm from and what I'm worth is getting too damn intertwined. And if I'm gone this time this year, if I've inhaled the smoke and smashed the mirrors, I it, I might even disappear. I hope you had a decent time. Why did I put this in here? I'm forgetting. Uh, oh, I think it's because what I'm from and what I'm worth has gotten too damn intertwined. And I think I put that in there because, like, I think Noah Khan really doesn't want to, like, have this be an identifier of him. Is like, oh, I'm the way I am because of the way my dad was a dad to me. And being like sort of resentful of that, and like he doesn't want that to be sort of like, I'm gonna say excuse, because that's the way he's sort of seeing it through this song, but I don't think it's an excuse. But he doesn't want it to be an excuse for him. He wants to be able to move past it. If that makes sense. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to All Dem Horses. All Dem Horses is a friendship song, and I have written Noah dealing with the loss of a friendship. So this is the friendship has come to an end. And now the friends that had gone away sort of kind of caused this strife. I wouldn't say completely, because if there had been more communication, it would have been better. But it happens to the best of us. He is looking back and he's thinking, what have I done? What have I done? I now don't have this anymore. Let's look at the lyrics. In the chorus, it says, I know I want to beat it bad. Well, everyone looks happy in a photograph. Across the county lines, I cannot go back. I'm always on my own. Oh, that is such a good line. I cross the county line. I cannot go back. I'm always on my own. That regret of leaving, and then like having the regret for leaving and realizing I cannot go back and undo this, and it has ruined my best relationship. And now I feel very alone. And then it goes, couldn't make it home because of all that rain. Oh, run of bad luck in a nowhere state. I'm high above us now in a big jet plane. I'm always on my own. This is oh so good. All Them Horses was one of my favorite on the album. Um, couldn't make it home because of all that rain. That is alluding to like this excuse of like, oh, I couldn't make. They were supposed to come home, but like, oh, the weather caused them to not be able to get home on the plane. And then it says, oh, run of bad luck in the nowhere state. Like, oh, like bad luck can't get you back to this nowhere town, you know? And then it says, I'm high above us now in a big jet plane. Like that idea of like, oh, this person's so above, like they don't even need to come back down to earth. Like they don't need to come back down to us. And then again, I'm always on my own and always on your own. That idea of like, I'm on my own now because I've lost this friendship. Because I was dumb and lost this friendship. All right, let's move on to a few of your own, which is about friendship. Yes, yes, yes. And I have written Noah wishing his friend well and saying he doesn't hold it against him. Okay, let's jump into the lyrics. Okay, in the chorus it says, "Oh my, what a time to be alive," and that is in quotation marks. That's very important. And it says, "Young and dumb on the edge of the world. Oh, good Lord, what it means to be alone. I knew well, I knew hell, and now I don't. Tell me, love, if the devil ever comes to make good on the debts that I owe." Oh, what did I do? Okay. "To make good on the debts that I owe, wish me well, to tell the stories I would tell, go ahead and make a few of your own, a few of your own." So, oh my, what a time to be alive. That is in quotation marks because that is not now, I think. That's like a thing that was said, and that's not now. He's looking back on this relationship, and so at one point they said, "Oh my, what a time to be alive." And then it says, "Young and dumb on the edge of the world." Looking back, this is how they were. And it says, "Oh, good Lord, what it means to be alone. I knew well, I knew how, and now I don't." So that's like looking back, like I knew how to be alone, and then I didn't know how to be alone because I met this person and I didn't have to be alone anymore. And then sneaky little Noah brings us back to this devil metaphor. Remember in Dashboard, the devil on your dashboard, devil on your dashboard. Um, Tell me, love, if the devil ever comes to make good on the debts that I owe. This idea of like, if the devil had come, like, if I had noticed that devil on my dashboard and I would have just gone back, I could have made good on my debts and I could have had this relationship still. But he didn't know that there was a devil on his dashboard. I think that also alludes to the idea of like lack of communication because this person was talking about the devil on the dashboard and like he saw it, but he didn't say anything. And then Noah's saying in this, "Tell me, love, if the devil ever comes to make good on the debts of your own." And it says, "Wish me well, tell the stories I would tell." Going back to the lighthouse, where he talks about how he is going to, like, he wants to tell the stories like this person would. Going back to that, where he's saying, "Continue to do that for me." And it says, "Go ahead, make a few of your own. Go ahead, make new friends, find a new best friend that you can rely upon. But like, don't forget me. Tell the stories that I would tell." Oh, so good, Noah. So good. All the callbacks. He's such a genius. Oh, okay. Moving on to Orbiter. This one's about friendship. Surprise, surprise. Okay. What? Wait. We're getting too. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay. This one is gonna take. It's gonna be a little bit of a wilder ride for me to explain my thoughts on this one. This is what I have written down. Noah basically saying he'll always love his friend and that even though they aren't close anymore, he'll still sing the song about him. So, what does that mean? Noah is saying, even though this relationship is gone, it still means a lot to me, and it still is very important to me that we have this relationship for a long time. I don't regret it, I still cherish it, and I still honor it with these songs that I have made. Through my dream, I will still honor our relationship. I won't let it all be for nothing. Okay, let's jump. Oh, I keep hitting that button. Okay, let's jump into the text. I keep saying the text, the song. Okay, it says, "You said some people don't know why they're wolves. They just howl for the sound of it. Some people will never know they're beautiful till the crowd points it out to them. But I see you in a camera flash. I look back and you laugh. This is hard, but it feels less far. So that idea of like kind of like I see you in the camera flash, but I look back and laugh and you laugh. Like cherishing that relationship still. That's where I get that from. That's where I get that like idea of like still cherishing that relationship even though it's over, like not wanting to go back and change what has happened. Um and that idea of like being able to do that meal feels like this person was far away and it makes it feel better. That hurt and that sadness of it being over, looking back and remembering it and it makes it feel better. And it says in the chorus, "This ain't Watertown, I'm on alien ground. I'm a college kid with my windows down." Like he's kind of like still kind of like on this adventure we call life. And it says, "I'm an astronaut, you're the moon. I stare at you, I sing to you, I circle you." That's so sweet. I think the song, it's probably a love song, but I think it's so sweet if this would be a platonic love, like a, okay, I guess it's probably a romantic love song, but I would think it would be really sweet if it was a platonic friendship love song. This idea of like it, like still holding such reverence for this person that they will sing to them even though they're not there for each other anymore. Like so ridiculously sweet, and that warms my heart, Noah. Warms my heart. Mr. Khan, what are you doing to me? Okay, let's move on to our last song before I start crying about how sweet this is. I'm starting to hear things too. Oh my gosh. Okay, on to our last song. We have Dan, which is about friendship, very clearly, because, I mean, this is the chorus. Because I'm with my best friend Dan now, camping on the county line. And I think for one last song, we come back to the friend's perspective, and it is about the friend moving on and wishing Noah well. Let me put this down. So, where do I get that from? This idea of because I'm with my best friend Dan now. That to me is I have this new best friend named Dan, and like he's my best friend now. And like we're counting on we're camping on the county line, hand around a Miller Lite, waiting for the sun to rise. Couple of hometown heroes. They're together in the hometown, fighting over politics, sitting and remembering young man from different sides. And that is very much like remembering this friendship and being like, this was once my best friend, but we were not able to stay friends because of our differences. We're so alone most of the time. Most of the time, we don't have anyone. Where do we go when we die? I wouldn't mind right here. I wouldn't mind at all. Yeah, which a nice way to end the album of like not being angry anymore. Like we've gone past the anger. We sort of like have come to terms with this friendship breakup. Yeah, this album I think like overall has very much like to me very spoken to just like the struggles you go through with friendship. I think we don't often like really dive into that. Like there's movies about family troubles and there's movies about romantic troubles and stuff like that, but there's never like movies about friendship troubles and stuff like that where that's the main conflict is the conflict between the relationship of the friends. Something I've always like wanted a good story of, and I think that's why I found that message within this album is because I needed that message within this album. You know? Yeah. Anyways, let's wrap it up. Um I rated this I would rate this album 5 stars because it was amazing, and I loved it. And I've listened to it a bajillion times this year since it came out. So 5 stars all around. Here are my socials if you want to follow me. Check currently don't have either of these downloaded onto my phone because I have no self control and have had a bit of a scrolling addiction as of late. But you should follow me nonetheless because I will download it to re-download it to just post for funsies. Um, so follow me on Instagram at Isidora07. Follow me on TikTok at Isidora07. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm sorry that this is coming on a week late. I should have my next video up on Friday of next week, mostly because I'm leaving that Saturday after that for vacation, so I will need to put it up. 2 weeks from now, though, that does mean I will not have a video up because I'll be on vacation. So I'll miss y'all so very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have something else in the works. Another thing in the works that I've been thinking about. So you should stay tuned for that. Yeah. If you like this video, you should subscribe. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching.